Hey, and welcome to this YouTube tutorial all on Synoptic Charts. Synoptic Charts, if you're unsure, are these things here. You've probably seen them on the news thousands of times before. You've probably covered them in class. But through this tutorial, I'm going to explain to you exactly what all this stuff means. By the end of it, you'll be able to read this chart really easily. Okay, so first of all, a Synoptic Chart is based on a series of measurements taken throughout the country. Some are taken on land in towns or by certain stations. Others are taken right out to sea by floating buoys or ships that happen to be out there. Now these measurements are taken with what we call a barometer. This is used to measure the air pressure. Now air pressure is about the weight of the air or how dense the air is in a particular place. We measure air pressure in what we call hectopascals, the same way that we measure distance in kilometers or we measure liquid in milliliters. The word that we use for air pressure is hectopascals. Now, in the same way that we abbreviate kilometers to km or we abbreviate milliliters to ml, we abbreviate hectopascals to a shortening as well, HPA. Notice that, lowercase h, uppercase p, lowercase a. Okay, so all of this data gets collected, and the Bureau of Meteorology goes through and starts to link together the same pressure systems, just like this. So they'll take that information and they'll look at the same numbers, and they will appear in patterns like this, and they'll draw the lines together. Now this data is collected all over Australia. It's not just in a certain patch, it's all throughout the country. And all of it is then linked together into these systems here, these pressure systems that you can see. Now this linking together, these lines we refer to as isobars. You need to know that, that's often an assessment question. The lines, the dots themselves are hectopascals or hectopascal readings done with a barometer, but the joining together of them are done with isobars. Alright, now it's crucial that we understand the magic number. It's not called the magic number, I'm just calling it that to help you remember. But the number, the important number is 1013 HPA, 1013 hectopascals. And the reason for that is because that's our center line. 1013 is really important. Anything above 1013 we refer to as a high pressure system. And anything below 1013 we refer to as a low pressure system. Okay, but at this point in time, who cares whether the pressure system is high or whether it's low? What's the point of knowing? What's the point of giving one pressure system this name and another that? Well, the thing is that different pressure systems give us different types of weather. So a high pressure system gives us sun, or at night time it gives us a clear sky. There's very little cloud cover. Whereas a low pressure system is the exact opposite. It gives us rain and storms and cyclones and heavy cloud. So they're two exact opposites from each other. Okay, so we mark those onto the map. We make it easier for the reader just by putting in large letters right in the middle. So here we are obviously below 1013, so it's a low pressure system. Our other two systems over here, this is up to 1028, that's a high pressure. Over here it goes right down to 996, that's a low pressure system. Pretty straightforward. Now, to help the reader even further, anywhere where there's a forecast of rain on the map, we then mark on with these diagonal lines striping across the map to show where the rain's going to fall. So just to help the reader at a glance, they can quickly look, low here, yep, rain likely to be there. It's simple. Okay, but we can also use synoptic charts or knowledge of pressure systems to work out wind direction. So this is the way we do it, or this is the best way to remember it, is that low pressure systems and high pressure systems also can be called other names. Low pressure systems, remember, the rainy systems. They can also be called cyclone systems. Cyclones are the really intense storms. We know that the tropical cyclone is a really intense storm, where any low pressure system can also be called a cyclone. Now, high pressure systems, which are the exact opposite, very conveniently have the exact opposite name. We call them anticyclones, cyclones and anticyclones. So this gives us a big clue about which way they spin. They both spin in different directions. So a low pressure system spins in a clockwise direction, the same direction as a clock, whereas an anticyclone spins in a anti-clockwise direction. This is the way I remember it: anticyclone, anti-clockwise, anticyclone, anti-clockwise. Once you've established that, you can very quickly remember which way a cyclone spins. So here we have the low pressure system. It's spinning in a clockwise direction. Let's have a look at these other two. There we go. The high pressure system is spinning this way, away from the spinning away from the direction the clock goes, and this one goes the opposite. So once we know that, we can then work out where the wind would be coming from a particular location. So let's look at this point here, up here. Imagine somewhere in the Pilbara region, somewhere with all the mining's happening right now. So here we can work out that under this system, the wind direction is likely to be coming up from the south. We always talk about wind from where it's coming from, not where it's going to, where it's coming from. So this is experiencing a southerly. We have a look over here, down here, probably somewhere over near Broken Hill, this one. We can see that the wind is going to be coming down upon it. It's probably coming from a northerly direction, so it's going to be a northerly wind. Okay, we're almost there. There's only one small thing that we still need to look at, and that's these two symbols here. You'll sometimes see them. So the first one is the warm front, and the warm front basically is warm air moving through the landscape, pushing out the cold air that's in front of it. So it moves in this direction. This is the front of it. Students sometimes mix it up. It's moving this way through the landscape, and behind it there's warm air, and it's pushing out cold air. Now the exact opposite down here is the cold front. That's the same thing. It's cold air moving through the environment, pushing out warm air. The way we remember these, the way I encourage people to remember these, is that the cold front has like icicle points on it. And so it's bringing in the icy cold air, and that way we can recall that this is the cold one and that's the warm front. That's what works for me anyway. It also moves in the same way. It's typical in Australia during summer. You have those really hot days. In the afternoon, we get that big cool air coming in. They'll say, oh, we've finally got the southerly arrived, because the cool air comes up from the south and it can really cool us down during that time. Okay, so here are the cold fronts and the warm fronts. So we have a big cold front sweeping through Queensland and New South Wales. We have a cold front sweeping down across the bottom here through the Tasman Sea. And then we have a very small warm front moving down. This would be travelling in a northerly direction. It's a northerly wind, sorry, travelling in a southerly direction down towards Tasmania. So that's an example of that. Okay, so that is all that you need to know in order to excel at synoptic charts. We use air pressure, which we form into isobars. Low pressure brings us rain. High pressure brings us heat. Low pressure systems spin in the clockwise direction. High pressure systems spin in the anti-clockwise direction. And warm fronts bring in the warm air, and they've got the curvy edge, and cold fronts bring in the cold air, and they've got the pointy icicle edge. And that's all you need to know, and you'll be able to ace any test you get on this. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the comment bar, or thumb the video up if you liked it and thumb it down if you hate it. If you want to see any other videos made, just leave it in the comment bar, and I'll be happy to see if I can make something that you need for your for an upcoming exam or something. See you later.